Hungarian saber fencing and armored combat. Trying to find the roots of Hungarian weapon sports takes us far back to Asia. It was from here that the nomadic Hungarian tribes of Han-Turkic origin set off to conquer their new homeland in the Carpathian Basin, where they established an autonomous state that have existed for more than 1,100 years, up to the present day. The widespread fame and reputation of the Hungarian warrior was based on the equestrian nomadic lifestyle that included both horse riding and the use of weapons, which they practiced in organized form since childhood. The Hungarian elite warrior of the 10th century had mastery over the bow and arrow, the lance, and several melee weapons such as the spontun and axe-like weapon called fokos in Hungarian, or the saber. For Hungarians, the saber is also a highly valued symbol, with outstanding significance throughout the nation's history. Nothing shows this respect better than the fact that countless traditionalist teams with respect for the nation's past practice the art of saber fencing throughout Hungary. The Magyar-Turán Foundation, under the leadership of its president, Mr. András Zsolt Bíró, dreamed up and brought into existence Europe's largest tradition-preserving event, the Han-Turkic Kurultaj, more than 15 years ago. Thousands of traditionalist warriors from 27 countries participate in the event. Hungarian saber fencing as a competitive sport has two branches at the Kurultaj event. The first one is armored combat, where the competitors fight each other wearing armor and weapons with shields and sabers. The other is called saber fencing, where they wear lightened armor but with a helmet on, and each competitor fights with a single saber following strict rules. The finals, hosted by the event Kurultaj, are a worthy conclusion to the qualifiers, which take place throughout the year. The goal of saber fencing is to make sure the participants can compete in the most historically accurate system. It is a kind of martial art that covers the historical period of the 9th to 11th century. The participants compete wearing the costumes and using the protective equipment, weapons and horse trappings of this era. The competition, called a duel, takes place between two competitors in the fighting area created for this purpose, the corral, under the supervision of a certain number of qualified judges. The duel is won by the participant who first obtains the specified amount of points for hits, and the judges announce the winner. The duel is always fought under the supervision of the chief judge, assisted by the assistant judges, and the duel can only start with his permission, and he can stop it any time he deems necessary. The goal of the competitors is to score hits by asserting their fencing style with authorized weapons while wearing the prescribed protective equipment. A valid punch, cut, or jab in one of the hit zones scores a point. When either of the contestants scores a point, the chief judge stops the duel. This can also happen based on the signals of the assistant judges. After the validity of the hit has been established, the contest may continue at the signal of the chief judge. Punch or cut in the no-hit zone is not considered as scoring. Therefore, the fight does not stop. In the event of simultaneous hits, neither side scores points. The competitor scoring 5 points first wins the duel. Armored combat. During armored combat, the participants fight using the prescribed protective equipment, wielding a shield and a sword or a saber. This category provides the most protection for the competitors. The category consists of continuous combat with a time limit of 1 minute. The assistant judges keep track of the number of hits, and after a discussion at the end of the duel, the chief judge decides on and announces the winner. In this category, only cuts are allowed for scoring purposes, and these must be clearly visible, properly performed, and executed with sufficient force. Stabbing is forbidden. Hit zones that are worth points: head, except for the face; torso, upper arms and forearms, except the hands; thighs, except the knees and below. Saber fencing. During a saber fencing duel, the combatants may only fight with sabers that comply with the regulations. In this category, cuts and stabs are both allowed for scoring purposes. Stabs are allowed and counted as hits unless aimed at the head or face. Hit zones that are worth points: cuts only, torso, upper arms and forearms, except the hands, thighs, except the knees and below. Only weapons and protective equipment based on historical finds from Europe or the steppes that follow a 9th to 11th century form can be used. The use of equipment that is not historically authentic or does not fit the specific era or region is not allowed. With the competitions at the Kurultaj, the organizers aim to promote and maintain the respect for our ancestors and for the kindred nations among today's youth. The other important goal is the education of youth to a sports, health and the environment conscious mindset with the help of our past and traditions.